it's Sandy Grayson here at Icosa Studios for Colorado Gives Day, and my next guests are from Energy Outreach Colorado. I have Skip Arnold, who's the Executive Director, and John Harpole, who is an esteemed board member.
Esteemed.
Yes.
Thank you.
So why don't we start with you, Skip? Can you tell us just a little bit about what Energy Outreach Colorado is?
You bet. Energy Outreach Colorado helps low-income households afford home energy. And we do that in really three different ways. We give emergency assistance to low-income households so they can avoid having their service discontinued. And we do energy efficiency upgrades to low-income homes and to nonprofit facilities. And we do advocacy work at the state legislature and the Public Utilities Commission.
It's the kind of thing that we don't always think about, right? When we're thinking about giving donations and getting involved, you know, the basic necessity of we need energy. We need to
I think you're right, Sandy. That issue kind of doesn't surface a lot, but when you think about home energy, it's a bill that's on the top of your stack. If you don't pay that bill, you're going to run the risk of losing electric and gas service. And if you do, you could well lose your home. We find that a large percentage of low-income households sacrifice food, medicine, medical care, just in order to avoid their service being shut off. And they'll not take medicine in order to pay their bill. So not that medicine isn't important and food isn't important, but this is an issue that can drive that for households.
Yeah, I mean, Colorado, I used to live in Florida, but Colorado, if you don't have energy, you can freeze to death. You know, it's really,
Absolutely.
It's a lot more urgent to have that. So John, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got involved with Energy Outreach?
Thanks, Sandy. And welcome to the warm weather of Colorado here these days. About 15 years ago, I was asked as a member of the oil and gas community to testify to the Colorado Public Utility Commission. And when I testified to the Colorado Public Utility Commission, a week before I was asked at Thanksgiving dinner at my mom's house. I grew up in East Denver, and I was one of 9 kids. I was the 8th child out of 9. My father passed away when I was 6, and I didn't realize it at the time, but I truly did come from a low-income home. So I asked my mom if she had any of her old utility bills, trying to get some record of what costs were like in East Denver for years. And after this Thanksgiving dinner, my mom came up and handed me 38 years of utility bills, all from the same house, from the same meter. And I asked her, I was teasing her, being smart, saying, why, you're not a pack rat, Mom, why did you keep all these bills? And she literally said I was keeping track of the weather on any given month so that I could anticipate next month's bill to make sure that I could pay for it. And when I looked through those bills, there wasn't one bill over $70.
Wow.
So.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's the kind of thing that like makes you cry, you know, that's, you know, what so many people are dealing with, especially when you have a lot of children.
Right.
And not a lot of money coming in. And so tell me what you do, like how do you help and how do you advise?
Well, I serve on the board, and Skip sometimes accuses me of being the mad scientist. About 5-6 years ago, we proposed some legislation, actually 7 years ago, in the Energy Policy Act of 2005, where the federal government, that is a natural gas producer in effect, with the royalty gas that they have, the federal government would take that natural gas and give it to low income in 2 pilot projects. It's an idea that never actually happened because there really wasn't a government scoring on funding. But what I try to do is advise the board, fellow members of the board in Energy Outreach Colorado on what to expect in terms of natural gas prices going forward. I mean, there are literally families that choose between, we don't want them to choose between eating and heating, if you will. In New York, and Skip, you can back this up, in New York, in some of the tenements, the electricity is paid for by the tenement, but the natural gas is not. And one of the big reasons for fires in some of these apartments is that the homeowners will open up their oven and turn on their electric oven to try to heat their space. And it's such a fundamental need. I don't think, given the wealth of this country, that's something that we should have to worry about.
Which is very dangerous, right?
Yes, yes.
Is everything okay? I'm assuming they're trying to test my mic, and that's sorry. So, Skip, can you tell me, well, first, why don't you just tell me how you got involved with energy outreach as a type of person?
Yeah, I've actually been at least connected to this issue for 30 years. I worked at Xcel Energy for 25 years, 3 months and 11 days. And after I left Xcel, I got a job as the executive director of this organization. I had actually been an original board member 22 years ago of this organization. And so I knew the issue, I saw the issue, I saw the impact on households, and I applied for the job and John hired me.
And we've taken off ever since then. Skip's been a wonderful executive director.
That's great. That's awesome.
Skip, it runs so smoothly. I'm fortunate to sit on about 4 different boards, and his guidance and leadership and his background in the utility world has helped immensely. So.
It's funny how you counted down the days.
One thing I'd like to say
mention the
on
hours.
Gives Day is that EOC is a very responsible nonprofit to its donors. In last year, Worth Magazine named Energy Outreach one of the top 10 nonprofits in the United States for fiscal responsibility and accountability. So that's something we're very proud of, and we're good shepherds of our donors' money.
And Skip, I think you should mention Charity Navigator also.
Yeah.
The scoring by Charity Navigator for
Yeah, we've
EOC.
gotten top ratings from them for 11 years in a row.
Charity Navigator looks at, I think, 3,000 different nonprofits across the country and tries to assess them on 20 different criteria. And EOC, Energy Outreach Colorado, has been in the top 5 for the last 3 years, I think. Is that right?
In some ratings, yeah.
In some
of the ratings, yeah.
So,
And that's one of the things we've talked about that before. It's people that are giving today. That's one of the concerns, is to make sure that it's going to someone that's going to use the money and it's going to make a difference.
wisely. Right.
Absolutely.
So can you tell me, do you have any favorite stories? Are there any personal things that you've seen where energy outreach has made a big difference in the community?
Well, I think there's lots of stories. One that came up not too long ago was an elderly couple in their 70s, and their family was in an auto accident and 3 people were killed. And one child survived, and they're now raising that child. But they're low income, they don't have money, and they asked us for help last winter. We were able to get that help to them, which kept them in their home, basically. And there's lots of those kind of stories that we have. Unfortunately, there's lots of those stories.
But gosh, how rewarding, that it makes such a difference. I read this on your website that since 1989, Energy Outreach Colorado has raised more than $165 million to help Colorado's neediest families and seniors afford home energy. I mean, that's a significant impact.
It's a lot of money, and we've helped a lot of people. Our overheads, our G&A and marketing expense to total spending is less than 4%. So 96 cents on a dollar that's donated to us goes to help families.
That's so great. And John, any words on Colorado Gives Day before I let you guys go?
No, I just think, again, if you're looking for a good steward for your money, a steward that you know that the majority, if not all of that money, passes through to the needy, Energy Outreach Colorado is a great choice, a terrific choice.
Yeah, it is. Thank you so much for being here today. Again, I'm just going to say emergency help and homeless prevention, which is so great, preventing homelessness, energy efficiency and education, reducing energy usage. You guys also do some, what's the word I'm looking for?
Energy efficiency work.
Yeah, well,
Advocacy
you
work.
teach people, right? You teach
Yes.
people how to lower
Some energy
their
education
costs.
and
Education.
yeah, and we do a lot of work at the Colorado Legislature and Public Utilities Commission to make sure that public policy, public energy policy, and there's lots of that going on all the time, at least thinks about low-income households.
You said
and
that a lot
thinks
of
about-
times the legislature, they're not even thinking about the people that are struggling just to pay.
Right, we're so often the only ones at the table that are representing low-income households' interests when it comes to home energy, and yeah, I know that was featured a bit on the video, and that's work we're very proud of as well.
And I've got to add, I know that my mother, trying to raise 9 kids by herself, didn't have time or even the knowledge to go down to the Public Utility Commission and testify before the commission. And so when we say we're a spokesperson for that silent minority of low-income folks, that's an obligation we take very seriously. Very seriously.
And you're doing it in a very personal way as well. Let's give everybody your website if they want to learn more about Energy Outreach Colorado. What is it?
It's www.energyoutreach.org.
That's easy to remember, energyoutreach.org. And we hope that you will participate in Colorado Gives Day and make sure that you go take a very close look at Energy Outreach Colorado. Skip, John, thank you so much for taking the time and being here today with us.
Thank you, Sandy, and thank you, ICOSA, for doing this.
Yeah, good job. Thanks. And we hope that you'll stay tuned. We have lots more wonderful organizations on deck to come up. And I don't have an update on how much we've raised so far today, but we'll be sure to update you on that. And we're having a celebration here at ICOSA Studios tonight, starting at 5 p.m. We'd love for you to join us. This is Sandy Grayson.